This is part of our series called Insightful Ideas from Smart People, and in this video we are highlighting the famous heavyweight boxer Mike Tyson, and the lesson here is on the difficulty of sticking to your plan, which we think is extremely useful to investors. Everyone knows who Mike Tyson is, and he has a famous quote that has a lot of relevance to investors, and the quote goes as follows: "Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth." And you can understand how that works if you're a boxer. But if you are an investor, what happens is that when the market starts to get turbulent and volatile and you experience a large, usually rapid and unexpected drawdown, the equivalent of a punch in the mouth, investors without a plan and even some with a plan start to second guess themselves and stray from their plan, usually following the sentiment of the crowd. And so once you get punched in the mouth, so to speak, your plan all of a sudden goes out the window. And so the first lesson here as an investor is that you need to understand your likely drawdowns. And average drawdowns for the S&P 500 index from their peak are about 20%, and extreme drawdowns are in the 40% plus range. So you need to ask yourself whether you can stomach that type of drawdown when you create your plan. The second thing that happens to most people is that they end up leaving their plan at the worst possible time. They get frustrated with the market, they just can't look at it anymore, and then they sell at the lows and it turns around and goes back up, and that is the most painful mistake to make. So the key takeaway that we learn from Mike Tyson is that you should decide in advance if you're going to stomach the drawdowns. Make sure that you can. Think about it in the context of your investment horizon. In other words, will you be okay not accessing those funds for say 5 years, or will you need to make withdrawals to live on? And if you may need that capital, you don't want to put it at risk. Preservation of capital is rule number one. Understanding the fundamentals and knowing that you are on the right side of valuation will help you sit tight through those 5 years because you own it at a reasonable price and value will come back. If you own it at a crazy high price and the value disappears, it's most likely not coming back. And so understanding the likely drawdowns in advance will help you stick with your plan and avoid being blindsided at the worst possible time. But always understand the fundamentals and valuation and make sure they are in reasonable territory. And so we learned something good from Mike Tyson. Thanks.